Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Suzanne, Jens, Kyle, and the other 17 people that I don't see. And good morning, Bante. Thank you for being with us once again. So, this is the first meeting for our first week-long retreat. So there is a link at the top of the chat of the live with an Eventbrite link where you can find the schedule that we will be following here at the monastery, and that you are welcome to join with us. So we will start the retreat by taking the 8 precepts. So there is another link where there is a chanting sheet that we will be following. And hello, Bradley, Boone, Gita, Julie, Ella from Poland, Christiana. Hello, Victoria, Yanni, and Edward. Good to see you all, friends. So we will be taking the precepts, as I was saying earlier, with Bante, who will be leading us into that, and then Bante will be sharing some meditation instructions and words of Dhamma that will kind of give us a sort of idea of what to expect during this week-long retreat. And then you're encouraged to practice by yourself for the whole day, and we will be meeting again at 7:30 p.m. while there will be a guided meditation and sharing Dhamma, etc. We have another few friends. Hello, Sally, Marielle, and Galaxy from Malaysia. Great. Sally, is that 5 precepts or 8 precepts? We're taking the 8 precepts. So if you are, if you can't follow the 8 precepts for the entire week, just take them for at least the period of time.
Yeah, so you can take the 8 precepts for one day. And then tomorrow morning, we'll take the 8 precepts. And again, it'll be just for one day. The next day, you'll take the 8 precepts, but again, just for one day. So you don't have to take the 8 precepts for 7 days. You just do it one day at a time. Okay.
And Suzanne is asking, does the news count as entertainment, or is it exempt from the precepts? Or does it depend on your motives? I know early with the questions.
Honestly, I think the news is not exactly entertainment. It's more like horror. But I would say that during this 7 days, to try to refrain from ingesting any kind of information that's not directly related to Dhamma. So I do recommend taking a news fast for the next 7 days. Realistically, it's just the same bad news mixed in with little splashes of good news. So I'll actually tell you ahead of time the news for the next 7 days. More people get infected, more people die, politicians make bad choices, response to the pandemic continues to be disorganized and chaotic. Nurses and doctors don't have enough protective equipment. On the bright side, case numbers in Italy and Spain continue to drop, and the situation in Europe is overall improving, whereas the US continues to be a chaotic disaster zone. So there's your news for the next 7 days.
Okay, so we're taking the precept of not taking intoxicants, so you can refrain from using the news for the time being. And our friend from Malaysia is asking, must the 8 precepts be taken before noon time, as it is PM time in Malaysia?
No, you just commit to it for the next 24 hours.
Great.
Yeah.
And good to see you, Marielle and Stacy. All right, so without further ado, Marielle is asking, where is it that we can find all of this? You can find it at the top of the live chat. You can find the link to the schedule and a link to the chanting sheet that we will start right now by taking the precepts. So
you can repeat after me. So we'll start with Namo Tassa 3 times, then the 3 refuges, then the 8 precepts. So we won't actually be doing all of the little extra chants on the chanting sheet. We'll just be doing the preliminary homage, the Namo Tassa, the 3 refuges, and the 8 precepts. So I'll chant, and then everyone repeats after me, line by line, and really try to mean it. So as you're chanting, taking refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, really try to form that strong commitment to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. As you chant the 8 precepts, form that intention in your mind that for the next 24 hours, you're not going to kill anything, you're not going to steal anything, you're not going to do anything sexual, you're not going to tell any lies, you're not going to use any intoxicants, you're not going to eat after noon, you're not going to use any entertainment or cosmetics or jewelry of any sort. Doesn't help with meditation anyway. Not sure why you would do those things. And also that you're not going to sleep more than you really need to. So, without further ado, again, please repeat after me. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
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 Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddham saranam gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sangham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddham saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Adinnadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinnadana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Abrahmacharya veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Abrahmacharya veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Surameraya Majjapamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Sura Meraya Majjapamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Vikala Bhojana Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Vikala Bhojana Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Nacha Gita Vadita Visukadasana.
Nacha Gita Vadita Visukadasana.
Mala Gandha Vilepana Dharana Mandana Vibhusanatthana.
Mala Gandha Vilepana Dharana Mandana Vibhusanattana.
Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Uchasayana Mahasayana Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Ucha Sayana Maha Sayana Veramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami.
Silena Sugating Yanti, Silena Bhoga Sampada, Silena Nibuting Yanti, Tasma Silang Visadaye.
Amabante sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So that last short verse, which my preceptor would always chant after giving the precepts, and I don't know where it's from because I haven't been able to track down its origin. Silena Sugating Yanti, so by means of virtue, one goes to a good destination. Silena Bhoga Sampada, by means of virtue, one attains what is truly valuable. Silena Nibuting Yanti, by means of virtue, one attains awakening. Tasma silang visodeye, therefore purify your virtue. Purify your virtue. So it's a really lovely little verse expressing the importance of virtue, of sila, of taking precepts and following them. So precepts are the foundation of our meditation practice. So there's many places in the suttas where the Buddha makes it clear that sila is the foundation for samadhi, and samadhi is the foundation for panya. So virtue, morality, is the basis for concentration, mental stability and unification. And samadhi is the basis for wisdom. It's the basis for insight. It's the basis for clearly seeing things as they really are. So sila is not to be dismissed. It's not to be taken lightly. It's not to be disregarded. It's something which is to be held in high esteem. And particularly during the course of a meditation retreat, we're trying to cut out any harmful influences on our mind. Anything which is distracting or disruptive, we want to remove that from our experience for the next 7 days. So we don't want to do anything harsh, anything cruel, anything unkind. We also don't want to do anything distracting or disturbing for our mind. So we take the 8 precepts as a way of establishing a basis of serenity and blamelessness in the mind. So for these next 7 days, wherever you are, whatever condition you're in, try to follow these 8 precepts completely and thoroughly, just as if you were staying at the monastery. Also try to keep noble silence. So this may be a little bit challenging if you're living with family or if you have roommates or something along those lines. Um, but also you can try. You can try explaining to them. You're like, well, for these next 7 days, I'm not going to be talking very much because I'm going to be focusing on my meditation practice. So just letting them know what you're doing and why you're doing it. And ask them to support you by not trying to engage you in conversation and to be understanding of you if you give short functional replies when they ask you things, and if you refrain from useless chatter, and also for your own sake, not starting conversations. So I also recommend that for the next 7 days that you turn off your phone, uh, turn off your computer. Well, except to watch the YouTube live streams for the retreat, of course. I guess you'll need your computer for that. But otherwise, don't use it. Don't use it for other things. If you use it as a place where you read suttas or Dhamma books, that's okay, but only use it for that. Only use it for Dhamma study purposes. If you're the kind of modern person who no longer has a alarm clock and who uses your phone as your alarm clock, that's fine, but make sure your phone is on airplane mode so that you're not getting any notifications. And really watch your mind, because there can be this tendency of like, our alarm goes off in the morning and we pick it up. And then what do? Because we have our phone in our hand, what do? Well, naturally, we start checking our messages and our emails, and you've missed the morning meditation and you spent all this time just wasting time. So if you're using your phone as your alarm clock, keep it on airplane mode. And when your alarm goes off, just silence the alarm and put the phone back down. Really resist that urge to get caught up in doing anything other than the purpose of the phone, which was just to wake you up in the morning. Similarly, if you're using devices as part of your Dhamma study routine, again, make sure you're not doing anything else with it, anything else at all. And actually, it's better if you have books to just use physical books, because physical books are a lot less tempting. If you've got a copy of the suttas, maybe you're reading the middle-length discourses, well, you can't just flip a page and be looking at Facebook. It's just not an option. Or you can't flip a few pages and open up CNN. It just isn't there. You have only one option in a sutta book, which is to read the suttas. So this is the danger in using electronic devices as studying materials, is that the temptation is right there and it's very accessible. So I recommend using physical books instead, especially during a meditation retreat. It reduces the risk of you giving into temptation and wasting time. And of course, during the retreat, definitely do not listen to music or play games or read novels or any of that stuff. It's just going to agitate and store up your mind. It's just going to fill your mind with useless, distracting noise. Don't make phone calls. Don't text your friends or your family or your enemies, for that matter. Don't get caught up in any of that stuff. It's just going to disrupt your meditation. And as you go throughout your day, maintain clearly, sharply, intensely aware of your body at all times. So when you're walking, feel the body walking. When you're making your lunch, feel your body making lunch. When you're washing the dishes, feel your body washing dishes. When you go to take some rest, feel your body lying down. When you get up to do some meditation, feel your body going to your meditation cushion and sitting down. So always, always, always maintaining mindfulness of the body throughout the day. And constantly watch your mind. Watch your mind for whenever you start to slip into unnecessary thinking, which during a meditation retreat is going to be most of your thinking. Most of it's going to be unnecessary. So whenever you notice you're getting involved in unnecessary thinking, just immediately stop. absolutely, completely intolerant of unnecessary thinking. Don't get involved, even for a moment. So, I've mentioned a number of times in the past that there can be a certain amount of background noise in the mind. So, involuntary mental objects, so echoes of past thinking or mm, threads from one's subconscious floating to the surface. And that's not something that we have a lot of direct control over because it's the consequence of past actions. And it has a distinctly different feel from intentional thinking. So, intentional thinking has a distinct, forceful feel to it. Whereas echoes of past mental activity, they're like echoes. They're like voices in the distance, which is very different from your own voice when you're speaking. So you can tell whether mental activity is intentional or unintentional because those two kinds of mental activities feel completely different. So if it's just old noise floating through the mind, then don't be bothered, but don't get involved. Don't push it away, but don't take it on. Just let it fade away in its own time. Let it drift through the mind and fade away. Take no interest in it. Don't be concerned with it at all. But if what's coming up in the mind is intentional thinking, intentional mental activity, then stop right away. No matter how important or urgent those thoughts seem to be, just stop. Don't waste your time. Let it fade. Bring your attention back to your body immediately without hesitation. It's really important to get a hold of this habit of restless thinking all the time. It doesn't do us any good. All it does is agitate us, make us unhappy, unstable, and uncomfortable. So the next few days are a great opportunity to work on training yourself to gain control of your own thinking, get control of your own mind. And we'll be doing periods of meditation. And since you're on your own, it will be up to you to time your own meditation periods. So I do recommend setting a timer for yourself for each period and not changing posture until the timer goes off. Try not to even look at the clock until the timer goes off. Try to keep yourself still, unmoving. Let the body be steady. Let the body be peaceful. And keep your mind focused on your meditation. And the meditation methods that I'll be recommending for this retreat will be quite familiar to anyone who's used to me leading retreats or even talking about meditation. So the methods that I recommend, first off, loving kindness meditation, particularly first thing in the morning. This is a great way to start the day. Also, for the first couple of minutes or 5 minutes of any meditation period, this can also be a great way of starting up a period of meditation. And also any time that you're starting to feel a little bit depressed or spacey or scattered or grumpy or aversive or all of the above, then loving kindness meditation also is a great way of helping to counteract those tendencies. So with loving kindness meditation, you're trying to produce the feeling of benevolence, the feeling of gentleness, the feeling of kindness, the feeling of friendliness. And genuine loving kindness is not directed towards any particular person, nor does it exclude any person or people. So loving kindness itself is completely blind to any distinction of people. It's completely open and all-inclusive. No concept of self and other, no concept of me and not me, no concept of this group or that group. It's just this limitless, boundless mind of benevolence, this limitless, boundless heart of goodwill. So in the past, I've given several different instructions on loving kindness meditation. Ayasoma also has given some guidance on that. So if you're not sure how to do loving kindness, you can look up some of the guided meditations we've done recently. But I think most of you have been following and know more or less how to do loving kindness meditation by now. If you really don't know how to do loving kindness, please mention it in the live chat and I'll give some more instructions. The second meditation method that I'll be encouraging is mindfulness of the body. Uh, Again, if you've ever heard me talk about meditation, I've almost certainly spoken about this method. So, with this method, one is focusing on feeling your body as intensely and clearly as possible in each moment. And not moving the mind through the body, but keeping the mind still. And usually I recommend either feeling the whole body as a single object, a single domain of awareness. So the mind holds still, encompassing the whole body as a single object, or to choose some particular region within the body to center your attention. I usually sit with my hands together in my lap and I hold my mind steady on my hands. That's what I find to be most effective for me. If there's another part of your body that you find more supportive, you can use that instead. Some people like to focus on their abdomen, or they like to focus on the tip of their nose, or they like to focus on their chest. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that you keep the mind unmoving at that location. And from that location, you are aware of your whole body. Those are the important points. And whenever you notice your mind is somewhere else, you just immediately, without hesitation, put it right back at the focal point. Put it right back at the focal area. And the area of focus can be large or small. So the area that I use is about the size of an oversized grapefruit. But you might find that something the size of a pinpoint is more helpful for you, or you might find something a bit bigger is helpful for you. So you can experiment and see what works for you. One thing which works very well for many people, so as they're sitting with the thumb tips touching, to focus on the feeling of the thumb tips, that little point of contact between your thumbs. That can be a very powerful meditation focus. And keep cultivating the sharp, clear, intense awareness of the body, letting all other mental activities fade away. And eventually, when the mind becomes steady and still, alert, and clearly aware, then start to recognize that the sensations of the body are constantly changing, that they are insubstantial, that they are ghostly, mirage-like, hollow, not quite real. So noticing that the sensations are constantly arising and vanishing, constantly appearing and disappearing moment by moment. There's no ongoing solidity to them. There's no ongoing substance. So starting to recognize that the whole body is insubstantial. There's not really a body here. There's just a sequence of sensations that appear and disappear. We assume there's a body, but that's just an idea that we're adding to the sequence of appearing and disappearing sensations. So drop the concept and just bring your attention to that direct experience of sensations appearing and disappearing, arising and ceasing, manifesting and vanishing, and noticing the insubstantiality of those sensations. And once that's fully encompassed your body, then allow it to also encompass the mind, recognizing that all the mental objects and activities are also impermanent, arising and ceasing, appearing and vanishing, insubstantial, hollow, empty. And the substrate of the mind itself, the surface of the mind, is also impermanent, insubstantial, hollow, empty. So allow that perception allow that recognition of impermanence, of insubstantiality, of emptiness to sink deeper and deeper into your experience, encompassing and penetrating all aspects of your experience. So these three methods, they can be used in sequence in any given meditation period, or you can pick just one to use for the course of a meditation period, or you can use two as you wish. So 1, 2, or 3 as you wish. But what you will notice is that the more time you spend developing samadhi through loving kindness meditation and through mindfulness of the body, the more time you spend developing samadhi, the more powerful it will be when you practice the recognition of impermanence. So really take the time to build up samadhi. For the first 2-3 days of the retreat, I recommend spending most, if not all, of your meditation time just focused on samadhi, just focused on unifying the mind, steadying the mind, holding the mind in sharp, clear, bright, stable awareness of your body. And cultivating a sense of the pleasantness of the body, enjoying the experience of the body, cultivating a sense of fascination with the body. You want entertainment? This is your entertainment. This body, this is your entertainment. You want pleasure? This is your pleasure. Mindfulness of the body. If you really commit to this practice, you'll have the most absolutely fabulous time you can imagine. The most delightfully wonderful time you can imagine. Just sitting still and paying attention to your body. If you do that wholeheartedly, it's the most enjoyable activity you can imagine. It's only when we're distracted that meditation is not enjoyable. It's only when we're spacey that it's not fun. It's only when our mind is scattered that meditation is boring or uncomfortable. So practice wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly, with all your effort, with all your mind, focusing on feeling your body. Keeping the attention steady on the body. And if you notice you're getting lost in thought a lot, you're getting distracted a lot, then you can use an inner repetition. Again, the repetition that I most commonly use is just the word focus. Just repeating the word focus, 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 while holding attention on my body. And as time goes by, you can let the word become less frequent until eventually you let it fade away entirely. So you can use that method, and you can use it for as much as you like. In fact, you might use the entire first day or two just constantly repeating the word focus in your mind. This can be a really powerful way of cutting through all of our habits of useless thinking. Just replace all of that useless thinking with carefully controlled useless thinking. And eventually you can drop that as well. And just stay with your body. So really give it a shot. Be really sincere with your practice. And keep the continuity going. So when you're walking, mindfulness of the body. When you're sitting, mindfulness of the body. When you're working, mindfulness of the body. When you're using the toilet, mindfulness of the body. When you're taking a shower, mindfulness of the body. When you're lying down, mindfulness of the body. No matter where you are, what you're doing, mindfulness of the body. With clear awareness and equanimity. So not judging the sensations as pleasant or unpleasant, just being completely present for them, whatever they are, without judgment, without reaction, just knowing. It's like this. Moment after moment, it's like this. And it's a direct knowing. You don't need to tell yourself it's like this, it just is like this. You don't need to tell yourself this is it just is. So our practice is to be completely clearly aware of each moment. but also recognizing that each moment instantly vanishes. So we have to be willing to let go of each moment and be completely ready for the next moment, completely open to the next moment. So it's this practice of constantly knowing each moment and letting go of each moment at the same time. So it's knowing without attachment, awareness without clinging. So it's a receptive, open, clearly knowing, unattached awareness. So I think that gives a pretty solid overview of what we're going to be doing. So at this time, if there's any questions or anything you'd like clarified about how to practice during this week, we can go ahead and take whatever questions there are in the live chat. Okay.
Right. Thank you, Bante. So Sally is asking, so sleep more than I need to? I guess from the schedule, maybe, that she sleeps less.
Yeah, if you don't need as much sleep as the schedule allows, then get up early and do more meditation. Or if you prefer to meditate in the evening, stay up late and do more meditation then. Yeah, that's fine.
And Ron is asking, tea or coffee okay? Can we speak or be silent? Any more first timer novice information? I think you gave quite a few novice information, but maybe you can address the tea and coffee.
Yeah, it's fine. I personally drink quite a bit of tea every day. Helps to keep my mind alert, sharp, and clear. Just make sure not to have too much. I remember during a 10-day retreat I was leading a couple of years ago, there was one young man who, during the one-on-one discussion, he said he was extremely restless and agitated, and his mind was filled with all kinds of scattered thoughts. Nothing was working, the meditation methods weren't helping, and he was getting really frustrated. And I started asking him questions, and eventually he revealed that he was drinking a lot more coffee than he normally does. And I was like, well, guess what effect happens when you drink too much coffee? Your mind is really restless and scattered. You can't sit still. Your mind is filled with useless thinking. That's what happens. So, yeah, tea and coffee are fine, but use them in moderation. Use just enough to help you wake up, to help you be alert. So, if you're feeling drowsy, so drowsy that you're having a hard time doing the meditation, then yeah, have some tea or some coffee, but not too much. Just enough to keep you awake. Otherwise, you'll just stir up your mind and it'll be hard for you to meditate.
And our friend from Malaysia, Galaxy, is asking, Bante, for some reason I can't avoid taking a meal at night. Can I skip the precept number 6 but following the rest? And actually, Marielle has a similar question, which is actually even more fun. I eat with my family, and in this country, she's in Santo Domingo, if I remember correctly, lunch tends to be at 2 p.m. Is it okay if I do all the precepts, but this one, they're already freaked out about me not talking for 7 days?
So give them a nice big hug every day, silently. That might help. Yeah, I mean, if you want to just have breakfast and lunch, and your lunch is at 2 p.m., I think we can tolerate that kind of variation, but don't eat at any other time. Don't eat dinner. Don't eat snacks. As for Galaxy, it's time to learn self-restraint.
Perhaps they have a health reason.
If you have a genuine severe medical disorder which requires you to eat 3 times a day, that's acceptable. Happens to the best of us from time to time. These things do come up. But if you don't have a genuine medical disorder, which most people don't, then you can get by perfectly fine just having breakfast and lunch. So here at the monastery, we have breakfast at 7, and lunch is usually at 11 or 12. And that's it. And that's plenty. That's fine. Now, again, unless you have a severe medical condition that requires you to eat more often, then practice self-restraint. See what it feels like. Now, if you're not used to it, it's going to feel a little bit strange at first, but then you'll adapt, you adjust. And it's really good practice. You start to understand your mind. You start to understand the cravings and impulses which disturb you. And you start to learn how to control those impulses. You start to learn how to be peaceful with sensation. So give it a try, really try. Okay.
Thank you. And Yanni is asking, other than the Sutta book, can I read a book on accounting? Because she has an accounting exam soon. Not for entertaining, but for study.
So I've never met anybody who reads accounting books for fun. So usually I would say it's better not to. It's better just to read Dhamma books. But if you feel like if you don't study, then you won't be able to pass the exam, then I guess that's okay. Keep it contained. Don't do more than you really need to. Try to spend as much of your time as possible just doing the meditation and the study. Dhamma study.
And Marielle is asking, and if I have to work on my computer, it's along the same line.
If you have to, well, ask yourself, do you really have to? To what extent do you need to? So really try to take this opportunity to do a meditation retreat. So if it's possible, ask yourself sincerely, can I go for a week without working on my computer? Is it possible? Can I pull this off? If the answer is yes, then try. If you conclude, no, it's really not possible, I really do need to do some work, well, then try to minimize it. Do as little as you really need to. And instead, focus on trying to practice as much as you can. But then also, while you are working, keep your mind peaceful. Stay aware of your body. This is something really interesting which tends to happen whenever we're using a computer. We tend to be so fixated on what we're doing in the computer world that we start to lose awareness of our body. Our body tends to just kind of disappear from our experience. So try to remain clearly aware of your body as you're using your computer. Clearly aware of the body pressing against the chair, the feet on the floor, the hands on the keyboard. Try to be really clearly aware of your body. And take breaks from time to time just to stop and feel your body. Check in with your body. Okay?
Thank you, Bante. And Sally's asking, I checked the sun peak time here is 1:08 p.m. So as long as I finish lunch before 1:08 p.m. should be okay, right? Yeah.
Yeah, solar noon. Yep.
All good, all good. And Raymond is suggesting a good app, a free app that is called Meditation Time that acts as a timer. So you can download that if you need a timer, that if you don't have it on hand. And Ron.
Oh, on that note, a timer app which I like to use is called Zenso, Zenso. So it's also a meditation timer. And the main reason I like it is because it has a really nice bell sound. Like the bell sounds just as good as a real life gong. So that's one which you might look into. Okay, next question.
Ron is asking about the kinds of meditation because they're new to practice, and Bradley is suggesting that rightly so that on the YouTube channel there are few meditations. Usually each uploaded session starts with one, but perhaps maybe Bante, you can do a guided meditation after this.
Possible.
Sound good? So we can give you a good immersion. And Ron is asking, can focal point be breath?
You can, but in that case, what I recommend is you choose an area of the body which you're going to hold the mind at. So not following the breath as it moves through the body, but rather choosing an area where you're going to observe the body sensations of breathing. So common areas which people choose are either the abdomen or the tip of the nose. But once again, hold the mind steady in that area and just observe whatever sensations are happening there. So not trying to distinguish between breath sensation and body sensation, but just being aware of the sensations present at that area. So again, the main areas that people choose, either a roughly coin-sized area around the nostrils, the base of the nostrils, or they choose a somewhat larger area in the abdomen. So rather, I guess, football-sized area in the abdomen or so. Some people also will watch breath sensations at their chest. It's also fine. And some people like to watch the breath sensation in the whole area from roughly the top of your nose all the way down to your navel. Actually, the whole area here has one complete unified breath sensation, which you can use as your area of attention. And finally, some people feel the entire body while feeling the breath. Because actually the breath permeates the entire body. So you can feel the whole body breathing. And that's actually how the Buddha described it. When the Buddha spoke about mindfulness of breathing, he said to feel the whole body. But in all those options, you keep your mind still. You keep your attention still, not moving. And not distinguishing between breath sensation and non-breath sensation. It's all just body. Okay?
And Sally is asking, as meditation Marielle is asking, what time do we end the retreat on Tuesday? It's a full day, so we're ending in the evening with the last session at 7:30 p.m. And Sally is asking, as meditation method for concentration, can I use breathing later on to observe other parts of body as impermanent?
So optimally, you want to feel the entire body as impermanent when you're doing the recognition of impermanence stage. So if you're using breath sensation to help you with cultivating samadhi, that's fine. Again, just don't move your mind as you observe the sensations. Don't move your mind. Okay?
All right. And Sally is asking, Bante, I have to report twice to my mom that I am safe, still alive here, so she won't worry about me. Is that okay?
Twice a day? I think you might need to tell your mom that every now and then you'll be on retreat, and when you're on retreat, that you won't be reporting in, but that there's nothing to worry about. So actually, optimally, you will tell your mom that you're not going to be reporting in for the next 7 days, but that she shouldn't worry because it's just because you're on retreat. If you feel like your mom isn't quite up to that, then maybe cut it down to once a day. Tell her that because you're on retreat, you'll just be doing a brief check-in once a day. Optimally do it by text message or something so that you don't have to actually talk and that there's no temptation for conversation. If your mom really won't accept text messaging, then set a clear thing of like you're just going to give a brief 20-second verbal statement like, hi mom, I'm still fine. Talk to you in a week. Bye. Keep it short. Don't let it become a distraction. Yeah, just explain to your mom what's going on. You're trying to do a silent meditation retreat, so you're not going to be talking the way you normally do. Okay?
Okay. And Ron is asking, due to coronavirus, I have no job. Can I prep resume and some studying for certification? A few interviews lined up. We'll need to dip into it a little bit conservatively. Hope that's okay. We actually have an allocated time on the schedule that is the work period.
Yeah, that would actually be the best time to do these things is during the work period. But yeah, try to keep it to a minimum. But if you need to do it, that's the time. Yeah.
And oops. And Ethan is asking, is it okay to split some firewood and or do some gardening if done mindfully? Yeah, during the work
During the
period.
work period. Yeah, so the work period is your chance to take care of any little tasks that you need to do. House cleaning, if you do have some other minor administrative things you need to do, again, that's the time. It's also the time if you're going to cook some food for yourself, that's the time. Yeah, so you do work things during the work period. And if you don't have anything else to do, then clean your house.
And Sally's asking, any reason we should not look at the clock? There's a clock hanging on the wall. I can take it off.
Yeah, I recommend taking down your clock so you're not staring at it, or just sit somewhere where you can't see the clock. The main reason why is because many people find that if there's a clock within view during meditation, then they'll keep looking at the clock. So they'll be meditating, they'll be like, I wonder what time it is. Oh, it's only been 10 minutes. Okay, keep going. Oh, it's been 11 minutes. Okay, back to the meditation. 11 and a half minutes. So then you wind up just spending the whole meditation period checking the clock. And often what happens is then people will get disheartened halfway through and quit. So I really don't recommend having a clock within view uh, unless you know for sure that it's not a problem for you. Because for many people, it is a problem. For many people, it does become a distraction. So yeah, no clock within view is best.
And yes, Ishan, the app that Bate uses is Zen. So as mentioned by Ethan. And Edward is asking, should I do a walking meditation after every sit? And are there a minimal amount of sitting a day?
So it's up to you to decide how you're going to divide the meditation times between walking and sitting. So the standard recommendation is to sit for a determined amount of time, and then walk for a determined amount of time, and then sit for a determined amount of time. So always switching between sitting, walking, sitting. And the exact ratio of sitting to walking, well, you have to figure out for yourself what works. I like to do a ratio of about 3 to 1, sitting to walking. So if I do 45 minutes of sitting, then I'll do about 15, 20 minutes of walking. If I do an hour of sitting, then I'll do about 20 minutes of walking or so. If I do 30 minutes of sitting, I'll do 10 minutes of walking. So that kind of balance works pretty well for me. Some people like to do equal amounts. They'll do an hour of sitting and then an hour of walking and then an hour of sitting. Some people find that really helpful. What I do not necessarily recommend is to discard walking meditation entirely. Especially during a retreat, it's really helpful to incorporate periods of walking meditation. At least a few during the day is good. But yeah, the exact amount of walking, it's up to you. But I find less than 15 minutes is usually not very helpful. So you need time to build up your mindfulness and samadhi during walking. Yeah, so with walking meditation, really try to stay focused just on the feeling of walking. Just focused on your body as you walk back and forth. So choosing an area roughly 20 paces long, so somewhere between 15 and 30 paces long, and just slowly walk back and forth, pausing at each end, slowly walking back and forth, and focusing on your body as you walk. Eyes pointed down at the ground, about 2 meters in front of you, not looking around, not moving your body more than you need to, and just keeping your mind focused on feeling your body. Okay.
And Sally is asking, is it okay if I focus on the heat inside the lower abdomen? Because that's the most obvious sensation once I focus there.
Yeah, that's fine.
And Sally's also asking, sitting yoga, sitting, walking, okay? And can we use the 6 elements meditation?
Yes, sitting yoga, sitting walking, that's fine. You can also do prostration practice. So the standing bows, like where you start up standing and you bow all the way down to the ground and stand up again. You can also use that in place of walking meditation. That can be a very powerful practice. As for using the 6 elements, that's not the theme of this retreat. But if you found that meditation method to be very effective for you, then you're welcome to use it if you wish to. But during this retreat, I will be speaking primarily about the 3 methods that I mentioned. So loving kindness, mindfulness of the body, and the recognition of impermanence. So that will overlap a little bit with the 6 elements, but it's not the same. So you can use that method if you like. Just be aware that it'll put you a little bit out of sync with the instructions I'll be giving. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Bante. And they're asking, Marielle is asking, is there no exercise that she recently started doing some jump roping?
If you want to do some mindful, calm, peaceful jump roping, that's fine. Yeah, no problem. Just don't agitate your mind. So very intense exercise can agitate the mind. On the other hand, if you don't move your body at all, then that can produce sluggishness of mind. It can produce a dullness of mind. So go ahead, but see what happens. See what it feels like. And as you're doing it, remain clearly, sharply aware of your body, peacefully aware of your body. Okay?
Sounds good. And Ron, there's a schedule link that has been just posted, so you can see the schedule there. And Christiana is asking, I usually practice movement meditation like dancing without music. Is that okay?
Mm.
It's a form of exercise.
As a form of exercise during your break times, that's okay, but I wouldn't do it during the meditation periods. So during the meditation periods, yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Do walking meditation. Even yoga, it should be done in as peaceful and focused a way as possible. And the focus should be on doing stretches which directly alleviate the tension and discomfort from long periods of sitting meditation. Um, so not using yoga postures which don't have anything to do with supporting the sitting practice. But yeah, dancing, even dancing without music, I'm less comfortable with that because that's just giving the mind space to be impulsive. And we're trying to learn how to get our impulses under control. So I wouldn't, yeah, I'm not so comfortable with that. Again, during your break times, that's maybe okay, but not during the meditation periods.
Okay, and the last question is from Sally. Mindfulness of the body, similar as the first 4 elements, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's all the questions for this morning. I encourage you that if any questions pop up during the day, that you can write them down and then bring them this evening at the session at 7:30 p.m. Because I think that Monte today wanted to dedicate this evening's session to meditation questions, meditation related questions, correct?
Yeah. So my plan for this retreat is that in the morning, I'll be giving instructions, more of a formal Dhamma talk. And then the evening time will be a chance for talking about how your meditation practice has been going during the day, asking for clarification or how to deal with whatever issues are coming up or whatever challenges or clarifications you need. More taking the place of consultations. So during a meditation retreat, commonly you'll get to meet with the instructor one-on-one or in small groups to discuss your meditation practice. Since that's not really possible with this online format, instead we'll just be doing it as a group consultation in the evenings. Bring your questions that come up during the day, whatever is related to your meditation practice, and we'll talk about it in the evening. Okay.
Okay. And Bradley is asking, will the 5 a.m. sessions, etc., be streamed, or is that individual meditation time? We were thinking about not live streaming them, but we might live stream some of them. Perhaps we can live stream tomorrow's chanting and meditation, because I can do it on that and bring it in the hall. How about we live stream the 5 a.m. tomorrow morning?
Friday is better. We'll talk. We'll give an announcement this evening.
Okay. Give us feedback actually this evening if you think what is helpful and beneficial for you. But at the same time, also take it as an opportunity to really dig in and into creating a supportive self-practice, a self-discipline. I think this is a great opportunity for that. And Galaxy is saying, Bante, my mom will be nagging if I'm skipping dinner for many days. I just don't want her to create bad karma for herself. So can I still go on observing 7 precepts, skip the precept number 6?
How about this? Don't have breakfast or lunch, just have dinner.
Okay, well, that's a suggestion. And Sally is asking, I think there's a question above, juice in evening is allowable. Yes, it is.
Yeah, so in the evening, you can have fruit juice, you can have dark chocolate, you can have cheese, but try not to have anything else. So there's a few other minor things, honey, maple syrup, but yeah, keep it restrained. Most of the time, you don't really need those things. So really ask yourself if you really need it. Okay.
Okay, so that's all for now. Should we do a guided meditation?
Yeah, we can do a short guided meditation. So please go ahead and get in meditation posture. I think we can shut that one off. So sitting up straight. Letting your shoulders relax, letting them be swept back so that the chest opens up completely. Rock side to side a little bit to make sure your weight is balanced evenly on your sitting bones. There's no pressure on any part of your thighs. Recommend having your hands together in your lap, like so, the thumbs lightly touching. just resting against the base of your abdomen. And take a few long, slow, deep breaths. Just letting the body and mind relax with each breath. When you're relaxed, you can let the breath return to its natural rhythm. And start gently repeating in your mind, may everyone be happy. May everyone be happy. Just keep gently, persistently repeating this phrase, really trying to bring up that sense of benevolence, of gentleness, of goodwill. And as the mind becomes more peaceful, contented, settled, and bring attention into your body, just clearly feeling the body, so settling attention at your chosen focal area, whether it's your hands or your abdomen, your chest, your nostrils, or the whole body. Settling your attention in that area with the firm determination not to move the mind anywhere else. Really trying to feel the body as clearly and intensely as possible. Continually placing attention in the body. Focus, focus, focus. You can relax your posture, do a little bit of stretching, and then you can get up and do some walking meditation. And spend your day walking meditation, sitting meditation, doing a little bit of mindful work, having some mindful eating, take a little break, do some more sitting and walking. Just spend your day. Spend your day enjoying this opportunity to cultivate a peaceful, alert, gentle, knowing mind. So please continue with your practice, and we'll see you at 7:30. Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.